So I hope if you're a full-time seller, part-time seller, I hope you're having a great time selling on Amazon. I know for me, I wake up every morning and I'm just super thankful. I love the fact that I can work from home. And I'm actually changing my website over to Amazing Freedom. So amazingfreedom.com is going to be my website, because that's really what I feel like selling on Amazon has given me, just an amazing freedom. Ability to be able to work from home, the ability to be able to set my own schedule, ability to be able to scale up and continue to grow my business because of fulfillment by Amazon. And so, I often tell people the first way I got set free is I was saved at 18. I had a coming to Jesus moment, and it totally changed my life. It set me free. And interesting enough, and I don't want to make a comparison, but when I discovered selling on Amazon, for me, it kind of opened up my mind about the potential, again, of being able to have a lifestyle business that is growing, that is large, and to be able to do it from my home. So that's what I love about it. I love the freedom that it gives. And to me, I just continue to say 3 years later, it's still amazing. So with that said, I want to get into the show. It's not a very happy topic, but I think it's one that all of us as Amazon sellers should definitely take interest in and should be vigilant about, that we want to keep our account flowing. You or myself, we do not want to get suspended, right? That would be like one of the worst things to happen. Now you can appeal, and it sounds like most of the time they'll give you at least one time back where you can get unsuspended. But for me, I want to do all the things right so that I don't get suspended. So I want to just talk about 7 ways that I've seen being in the Amazon seller space for the last 3 years. I think these are probably the top 7 things that if you and I are vigilant and don't do these things, then our account should be safe and should be secure. All right. So I'm just going to rip through the list real quickly. First one is this. First one is sending product that is not described properly. And so as an Amazon seller, if you look at a product, if you're reselling, if you're doing retail or online, you look at the product page, and then you and I, when we list that product, we have a choice to send it in a certain condition. You can pick new condition, you can pick used as new, and so you have those different options. And what I see sellers often do is they'll list something as new, and maybe if you look at the package, of the product, it doesn't look like it's a new condition. Maybe there's a big dent, on the corner of the box. And so if you try to sell that as new, but it looks like it's used, you could get a knock against your account, because the customer is going to receive that. They may then contact Amazon and say, hey, look, this seller sold it as new, but I can show you the picture. This certainly isn't new. And that's not a good thing to do. And this is what I heard early on from very close friends. When you are listing product on Amazon, it's different than listing it on eBay. You want to make sure that the product you send in is in good condition, right? You don't want to sell something as new if the packaging, looks at all like it's torn, it's bent, anything like that. Which brings me to another point. And this is something I just learned at the conference. One of the number one complaints that customers give to Amazon, and one of the number one complaints lodged against sellers, is damaged packaging. And so, as a private label seller, that's what I am primarily. What it means is I need to make sure that my packaging is secure, because there's actually about 7 or 8 touch points, 7 or 8 times that people are going to touch your package, are going to ship your package before it even gets to the customer, which is very different from a retail product. Retail products, there's about 3 touch points, right? It get from the factory to the, it's actually in a box. So then it arrives to the store, they unload it from the box, and then they set it on the shelf. So generally what people in retail will say is like 2 to 3 touch points. When you and I are sending stuff into FBA, the average is 7 to 8 touch points. And so that's 7 or 8 times that package could potentially be damaged, which again means as a private label seller, we need to make sure, number one, that our package is strong, right? Whatever we're going to pack that with, whether it's a poly bag, if it's cardboard, it needs to be good, sturdy cardboard. Just because the name of the game when you're sending stuff into FBA is that the package is going to get damaged. And so when you private label stuff or when you're sending stuff in, if you're sending retail stuff, and that's why a lot of times retail stuff will get returned, because that packaging is not designed to touch 7 or 8 times. That packaging is designed for 2 or 3 times to place on the shelf. And so, just hear that, whether you're sending in retail, I think it's always best to go the extra step. If that means putting a poly bag on a product, to make it more safe and more secure, I always do that. Even if I'm sending in big items that are all plastic, like I sent in these Stormtroopers, right, which were huge. I buy big poly bags and I poly bag the whole thing up because I've learned that that's one of the number one customer complaints is that the packaging, the product will arrive and the package won't look as new. All right. So that's what number one, and be careful how you send it in. Number 2 is this, the misunderstanding the product page you're listing on. For example, you may send in 1 unit of something and you didn't pay attention that product page you listed on is actually a multi-pack of 3. And maybe you missed it because the person who created that page didn't create it right. But maybe in the bullet points, they said, this is a pack of 3. And so you may send in 1 unit, the customer then gets it, and they're like, what in the world? This is supposed to be 3 units. Well, that is a cause, again, for Amazon to definitely give a strike against your account. And if you do that too much, that could cause your account to get shut down. So make sure you understand, if you didn't create the product page, make sure you're looking very closely at the details of that product page that you're listing on, because I've seen a number of people get tripped up with that. All right, so here's the third reason is this, not paying attention to your return reasons. If you are continually getting returns that are not as described, right, or a customer could say, look, this is a counterfeit item. That's going to lead to your ASIN being suspended, right, in your account, number one. And then eventually, if you don't correct it, it could lead to your account being shut down. So you always want to make sure to monitor those reasons that you are getting returns, all right? And you can go into your Seller Central account and do that. If you have any questions, just go to Slamans Bros and ask that question, and someone will show you how you can find that. But you want to always look at why customers are returning your product. So here's the 4th one, and this one's very simple, is you will get your account shut down if you send in counterfeit products. You can go to Alibaba and you can search for products, and they will say that they have name brand products. I guarantee you, if they are displaying a page of a name brand product and it's like 75% less, that is a counterfeit product. If you buy that, send it in, your account will get shut down. All right. So don't even play around with that. You will be banned for life if you send a counterfeit product in. So that's number 4. Number 5 is this, not following Amazon's communication terms of service. I've seen private label sellers do this. They'll try to lead Amazon customers off of Amazon's website and onto their own personal website because they can make more money selling the product off of their personal website. You do not want to do that. You don't want to do that through Amazon's email system. You definitely don't want to do it like if you create a listing. If you play around with that at all, that's violating Amazon's terms of service, and they will shut your account down. Well, that's number 5. Number 6 is this, contacting another seller to price fix or to just talk about pricing. If you do that, that is collusion. Amazon will shut your account down, and you could end up getting a lawsuit. And sellers will do this. I've had sellers contact me through Amazon asking me to raise my price, right, on a product. If I would have turned that seller into Amazon, which I didn't because I don't do that, but if I would have turned that seller in, Amazon would have kicked them off immediately. You can never ask or mention price, right, to another seller. That is like against the law. It is a federal law. It's price collusion. and you will get banned from Amazon. So if you get an email like that, do not respond, or if you're the kind of person that is really fearful, I would just send that to Amazon. But do not touch it. Do not answer it. All right. And you will get those in your Seller Central email. So that's the sixth one. The seventh one is this: creating more than one account without permission. Now, I have 2 Amazon seller accounts, but I specifically requested to Amazon for a second seller account, and they will sometimes give you 2 seller accounts. But if you try to open up another account and you don't request it, they find out, they will shut you down. And in fact, there have been sellers who maybe their dad was selling in their house, and Amazon has found out from the IP that you have an account, that your dad has an account. They've shut the seller down for that. So that one you have to be very careful of as well. If there's someone else selling your account, you might want to ask permission from Amazon or let them know, hey, my father sells, I sell, we use the same internet provider, just so that you have some documentation in case something comes up about that. So those are 7 reasons, right? 7 ways that you can get your account suspended. And I'll just say this again. This is Amazon's sandbox, right? And I'm sure if you've been selling for a while, you've heard this before. You and I have to play by Amazon rules. They are very strict. Again, not to bag on eBay, but they're definitely a little stricter than eBay. If we don't play by the rules of their sandbox, you and I will get our account shut down. And you know what? There are sellers that do play by the rules as much as possible. They're not trying to violate the rules, and they've gotten their account shut down. And so you and I just need to remain vigilant, to not get lazy, to not be tempted, right, in those gray areas, because temptation will come upon you when you find, right, a product that you can make a good margin on. And maybe all you got to do is erase the date, right, and put a new date on it. Maybe it's a grocery item. Temptation will come upon you. Maybe it's like ranked under 500 in grocery, and you're like, oh my goodness, I could sell this product in 2 weeks and make $5,000 off of it. So let this be a warning to you. Do not do it, because in the long run, it is not worth it, right? It is not worth it. And so when it comes to that gray market stuff, I hope you're like me. I want to continue to build my business, and I want to go by the rules as much as I possibly can when it comes to selling on Amazon. All right. So, hey, that's it for the show today. Thank you guys very much for joining. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you're enjoying these shorter shows. We're trying to make them power-packed, full of good information. So again, if you're not in Slamans Bros, definitely check it out. I got an awesome webinar coming up this Thursday night with Alex Moss. He is the creator of Tactical Arbitrage, which is a phenomenal online sourcing software. He now has over 100 stores that he can compare prices in those stores to prices on Amazon. He'll show you the difference. You put the filters in, and you can actually set it and forget it and come back to your computer, and it'll show you those products and the price differences of the filters that you put in, which is going to be great potential product to buy to resell on Amazon. So that's Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern if you want to come hang out with me. Thank you guys again so much. I appreciate every single one of you. So much energy and enthusiasm I get from all of you in the different Facebook groups, from the private messages you send me. I tell people this all the time. The Amazon community, for me, for the last 3.5 years, has been the most sharing and the most caring community that I've been a part of. And I've been a part of some really mission-based organizations. I've never been a part of a community, though, of peers that has been so sharing and caring. I hope that you experience that as well. All right, that's it. You guys have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you next week. Take care.